Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Where are you checking in from and what time of day it is? No matter what time of day it is. This is your Standing Firm When Your World is Shaking conversation with Alicia Marie Belshak. And I'm coming to you live today from my backyard. Isn't that amazing? Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome. I'm so happy and grateful to be here with you today. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like a new season of life is happening, and I wanted to have a change of view today as a result. So, welcome. Where are you tuning in from? Are you watching live or are you watching on the replay? If you are doing any of those things, put it in the chat so I know you're here and I know that I reply to the chat. I can actually bring up the comments on the screen so that we can have a two-way conversation. So again, my name is Alicia Marie Belshak. I'm a life mastery consultant and your guide for these last 10 weeks, if you can believe it or not. It is week 10 of our Standing Firm conversation. Let me find that for you. I come live once a week for the entire time since March 13th as a way to have a conversation and navigate these uncertain terrains, these difficult times, the things that we are dealing with in a COVID-19 world, in a pandemic, in an economic crisis, in a personal crisis, in a spiritual crisis. What kind of crisis are you going through? We're all going through all these dark nights of the soul, and these experiences can either take us down or they can help push us forward in a new way. So that's what this conversation is all about. And if you would like to have a reminder when I go live every week, you can get that here. Just sign up at bit.ly/go live reminder SF. And this is something that I have put together so that it's just easier for you to find me when I find you, and we can have a real conversation. So welcome. I see you. Put in the comments so how you're doing today, where you're tuning in from, and I can actually pull it up on the screen and we can have a conversation. I would love to be able to do some laser coaching. So if you have a question, if you have a concern, if there's a particular situation you're navigating right now, I would love to be able to help out. So glad to see you there. So glad you're welcome. And remember that no matter what we're facing, we can go through this together. So go ahead, put a comment in. I'll be able to pull it up on the screen. We'll be able to have a two-way conversation because we are standing firm when your world is shaking. What are you dealing with? Is there an economic crisis in addition to the health crisis, in addition to the pandemic and the political crisis that many places are experiencing? What is your personal crisis? What is your personal dark night of the soul in your life right now? So normally, Standing Firm When Your World is Shaking is a 4-week journey that I take people on, but we're not on a 4-week journey, are we? During the 4 weeks, I usually take people through the process of defining their dark night, having the hero's journey, finding out where they're at with it, and coming out on the other side with a more empowered version of the story so they can know what's going on for their future in a more powerful way. But today, in these times, we're actually doing this and have been doing this every week for 10 weeks. So every week I come to you live and we have a conversation. So let's tune in right now. Tune into that conversation that needs to happen, that you would love to have, while I'm able to put things on the screen. It helps me to know what you're doing and where you're at. So welcome to week 9. No, it's week 10, May 26th, 2020. And we actually had Memorial Day yesterday in the United States. So we're remembering those who have fought as heroes in past battles or conflicts in order to have freedom, in order to have the principles by which we live our life honored. What are you doing to honoring the principles in your own life? What are you doing to honor the freedoms and create the freedoms that you would really love in your life? These are important questions to ask so that you can move ahead. This journey is not here to slow you down unless you decide it's here to bring you down or slow you down. Whatever is going on right now can be the thing by which you're moving forward even more powerfully. So welcome to my backyard for week 10 of our Standing Firm conversations. I'm repeating myself a little bit here today, but I think it's so important as we gather to know that we're on a journey and know that we are heroes and that we too have something to remember. Our principles, our dreams, the things that we would really like to do going forward. So, welcome to week 10 of Standing Firm conversations so that you can navigate the tough terrains of your life and come out stronger on the other side, whatever that looks like. So my question to you today is, what are you doing to honor yourself, honor your journey, and move yourself powerfully forward as we continue the journey? Many places in the country are opening up. We're starting to relax some of the quarantine rules. And while this is a good thing and we're having signs of life all around us, there's birds and dogs and trees and warm weather here in Michigan. I can actually come to you out from outside. How great is that? There's so much more going on. So I believe that this is a time when we are actually in a season of transformation. And I would like to share with you what's going on right now with that idea. So if you're not moving forward and you're just standing still, how do you get yourself moving again? How do you get yourself going in a new direction so that you can take whatever life is presenting you, even in the middle of a pandemic, even in the middle of a crisis, and move yourself so that you can continue towards your goals, towards your dreams, and I would even say towards a better future. And we can do this either by default, in which case we'll probably recreate what we've already got and repeat the past, or we can create by design. And as we are the heroes of our own journey, let's do the latter. Let's do the designing. Let's do the creating life in a new way. Because again, this pandemic, the crisis, the economic crisis, the financial crisis, the personal crisis is here, and we have to decide how we're going to handle it and what it's going to do. Is it going to move us forward? Are we going to use it in a way that helps us grow and become better? Or are we going to let it take us down and we stop and we become stagnant and we become maybe bitter, maybe we become hopeless and despairing? It can stop you if you're not careful. If you fall into default mode, it will be very easy to have it stop you. But what if you could use this time, whatever it's looking like, even as we open up the country and experience new life again? but remembering that it will be a new normal. It will not be what we've had in the past. How could it be? We're not the same. We're not the same. The country is not the same. No matter what happens next, how do we prepare powerfully? How do we get ourselves unstuck and moving again in a powerful way? This is the season of transformation. We're moving from winter into spring, into summer. We've had Memorial Day. It's a gorgeous warm weather here in Michigan. What is it for you? What is going on in your world, in your neighborhood? Where can you look for signs of good? Where can you look for signs of growth? Where can you look to find neighborhood? Where can you see people bringing out their best and bringing out the best in others? These are the signs that give me hope and optimism, and I look to a future where we can proceed in a different way. There are still people who will be focused on the decisiveness and the divisiveness and the fighting and the political and the infighting and the who's right and the who's wrong. And I would argue that those kinds of conversations are the kinds of conversations that slow us down, that keep us from being our very best, and do not provide any much information for how to go forward. There are a lot of looking at the past and a lot of pointing the finger, right? Laying the blame. So as I come to you in this new environment from my backyard, I invite you where you're listening from. If you're listening live or on the replay, I can see you live. So hello and welcome. And we can actually have a conversation. We can actually put the comments on the screen and you can be part of the show today. So I would like to talk about a couple of things as we're moving forward in our week 10 of conversations with this idea of standing firm. And that is, to put it simply, that I do believe we're in a season of transformation. And so let's talk about what that looks like for you. We're going to get the wheels moving so that we get unstuck, because we're not going to let this pandemic, we're not going to let this economic crisis, we're not going to let the situation, the circumstances take us down. We can actually use them to help us turn the tide and move forward. It can either take us down or we can rise up. We can actually rise up to the challenge. So I believe it is time to embrace this idea that we're in a season of transformation, and that it has to happen now. It cannot happen in the past, and it can't happen in the future. It has to happen now. 20 days to turn the tide so that we can embrace this season of transformation and turn things into something powerful for you. So I think that this is our time to turn crisis into courage, into fulfillment, and move forward into a new season. Whatever that's going to look like, it will be a new normal. It will not be the old normal, and it will not be what we expect. How can we expect when we're living in uncertain, unprecedented times, right? So let's embrace the next 20 days. What if they could be the thing that moves us forward in a whole new way as the country opens up, as we open up, as we start to design what we would like to live like, have life like, and create life in a new way? Do it by design, not by default. Because it's very, very important. Way back in March, at one of the very first conversations that I put up live, I talked about this idea of moving from react into create. So let's do that now. Let's do that now. Let's move from react to create. And I would like to invite you into this 20-day free opportunity to investigate and evaluate and take time to begin by reflecting, where have I been, what have I done, and where do I want to go? And start to create some powerful, simple action steps that move us forward. So we can do these steps day in and day out over time, making a difference, turning the wheel of destiny into our own design. How cool is that? The fabric of life that we actually get to weave together. So I put this out there last week that I'd be inviting you into this idea of 20 days to turn the tide. And it's a free challenge. You can join over here, and I'm going to just share my screen so that you can see where it is. Let me find out how to do that. Here we go. All right. So I would like to share with you this idea of how to harness the next 20 days in a more powerful way so that we can actually turn the tide and use this season of transformation to our benefit, really. Here we go. I'm in my backyard, and the birds are just so lovely. They're singing this song, and it just reminds me of how much life there really is to be had, right? Everywhere and all around us. I hope the connection is working very well. We'll see how that looks later, because sometimes my internet isn't so good back here. But here we are in spring, turning into summer already in Michigan. And in some places, you guys are super hot already. I know I have friends in Texas who are telling me about 95-degree days already. But I want to invite you to go to this and let's go and be part of this 20-day challenge, a season of transformation to turn the tide into action and fear into fulfillment. We have to move life ahead because there is a new season of life waiting. Forward with clarity and confidence and embrace whatever's ahead in a totally new phase of life. It's an unprecedented time. So let's have an unprecedented opportunity to grow stronger, see farther, become even greater. And now more than ever, we all need help to turn this time into something that we can make the difference, especially as the country is opening up. And we're still, wondering, will I have a job? Will I, what some of us may or may not, right? So what is going on outside of us will matter, but what will be going on inside of us will matter even more. Because if we're open to opportunity, then we will see opportunity. If we're locked down in fear and basically quarantining ourselves off from life, we will not see opportunity. We will only see the hardship, and it will be very hard to move forward. So I believe now is the time to move forward and build momentum now, even in the midst of uncertainty, even in the midst of tough terrains, even in the midst of many things, some of which are preferred and some of which are not preferred. But this is the time because we can get ready now to fully launch into whatever is next. And I really believe this is what I'm calling turning the tide in your favor. So I have a free challenge. I want to invite you to join. But more than that, I want to talk about why we're doing it. Why? I really believe that we have been dealing with a lot, obviously, since the pandemic hit. Everyone's had their ups, their downs, their sideways, their lockdowns. We felt flipped upside down. And the things that were normal are no longer normal. That's okay, because that's how growth and change happens. So isn't it time that we also had our minds do a turnaround? This is what a season of transformation looks like. This is our period of growth. This is our moment. So the idea is that we move forward with 20 days, 20 activities, things designed to specifically move you forward, get you unstuck, and help you guide you through the process so that you can reflect, you can celebrate, you can explore, you can vision, you can do the things to make room for something more and greater and bigger in your life. And it's the same things I'm using for myself. It's the same things I'm using for my coaching clients. It's the same things I'm telling everybody, really. They're free. Many of these things are free to do. So let's get on track. Let's go forward. Let's unblock and unlock ourselves. It's time to get out of quarantine into life. But life not as we knew it, life as we're designing it. So I do think there is still yet a long journey ahead, and there are simple steps we can take forward to prepare. And so why not? This is our path forward. There's no better time to lay out the roadmap than now. This is what it looks like to start designing and living by design rather than getting trapped in the default and the patterns of the past. So I invite you to join me in the challenge. And it's very simple. I'm already posting on my Facebook page all about it and the different days. And you can sign up. You can find out what day we're on, or you can start fresh with a whole series of emails that will send you the answer to what you're looking for. Every day, a new activity, a new idea, a new thing to take action on and move forward. Because as you know, I shared last week my number one tip for dealing with life in uncertain times and moving forward powerfully. And that was something as simple, but not necessarily always easy to do. And that is never, 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 never give up. Never give up. That doesn't mean we don't change. That doesn't mean we don't pivot. That doesn't mean we don't move in a new direction. And we definitely have to let go of some things. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the idea that we just lay down our life, we give up on our dreams, we give up on ourselves, we give up and just let life happen to us. Once you have the awareness that life is not here just randomly, but you're special, you're special, you're one in a bajillion. How could any other combination of the stars and the universe and your DNA and everything that has all the experiences that have created you, you are unique. One in a bajillion. That's not a scientific number, but it is about as good as it can get in terms of explaining how important and special it is. So don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the future. It will come whether we want it to or not. And don't give up on life. Don't give up. We're celebrating or being aware of mental health awareness, right? Because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And there are many people, you might be one of them, struggling. I've struggled many times in this quarantine and over my lifetime. If anything, I'm an expert in struggling and overcoming the struggle in order to move forward with some joy, some happiness, capturing the moment. There was a story I told where I had been on the couch for 4 days crying. This was not recently. It was at Christmas time a few years ago. I was in the depths of despair, in the darkest of my dark nights. And I would say full-on depression, if that's what it looks like. But I kept pulling myself up by my bootstraps and going to work and doing the things and being miserable inside, just like I was dying. I felt like I was being torn apart. And for many people right now, and you might be one of them, tell me in the comments, what is it you're experiencing right now? Are you full of hope and optimism for the future, or are you having one of those times where your emotions are pulling you apart? It's okay if you are. But as we are aware and pay attention to our mental health, we have to know that perseverance and possibility and all the things that we're pushing and pulling ourselves towards only happen if we don't give up. Don't give up on finding the answer to your question of what's going on. How can I feel better? What can I do differently? Who am I? What am I supposed to do? Why am I on this earth? That's what this is about. This is a season of transformation. Time to discover you, time to discover your dreams, time to discover your passion, your purpose, your what you're meant to do on this planet. Because even just by you being here, you are changing the world. Wouldn't it be great if you could do it in a way that you felt really good about and knew was making a difference and impact? We can all be leaders. We can all be change agents. And as we have mental health awareness, let's pay attention. How are you feeling? How are you thinking? What's going on? We just have to keep moving forward one step, one baby step at a time. As some of you have been following me for a while know that I like the stories, the Frozen stories. And I'll go on a journey in the Frozen 2 movie. And it's an amazing movie. This movie is a movie of transformation. And I really believe it is a movie meant for adults. And more than ever, we need to hear the same message. She is in that dark, 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 deep pit. And she is in grief and despair. And all those around her are gone. And everything looks lost in the moment. And that's exactly where we are. Some of us are in the dark. We're in the depths of despair. Everything looks lost. The familiar is torn away. And we don't know where to go. How do I get out of this? How do I pull myself up? And she sings the song, "Do the next right thing." This is what it looks like to never, never, never give up. As long as life is breathing you, as long as you have breath in your lungs, you have a step, an action, a beingness to accomplish. Do the next right thing. Just one step, and then one step, and then one step. If you've got a job loss, just do what you can with what you have. Take the money you have and put it where you can. Start planning for how you're going to do better so you're not in this situation again. So that your bills are more manageable no matter what. So that you have an emergency fund. So that you can create a better life, maybe a new job. There are places hiring even now, and especially now. And there are opportunities for people to start side businesses and use their talents. What's your talent? What's your passion? What's your purpose? What thing can you do that no one else can do and you just take it for granted? There's something calling you. Do the next right thing. One step, and then another step, and then another step. If you're having family and relationship problems, God knows all of us are stressed out, right? God knows we all have issues for me, I'm with 3 kids all day long. And my husband, who's an essential worker, is gone for 10 hours a day. He's been doing 6 days a week. I'm grateful that he's been able to serve in that capacity. I'm so happy to have the income. And being with kids all day is not always the simplest thing. It's a challenge. Do the next right thing. Sometimes it's taking a breath. Sometimes it's just making sure my needs are met. Sometimes it's giving up on the fact that they're going to get all their homework done today. It's probably not going to happen. And that their mental health matters. And so paying attention and listening and doing the next right thing. Even if it's contrary to what the outside world and the pressures coming at us might be telling us. But again, we are going to be people who stand firm when the world is shaking. And sometimes the shaking isn't our own doing. But we get to decide how we're going to react. We're going to move from react into create. And we're going to never, never give up by doing the next right thing. One step at a time. One step at a time. So for those of us who are following along, I thought it'd be fun to embrace this season of transformation by just sharing what day we would be on, and if we had started the 20 days last week. But again, you can start the 20 days anytime. anytime, anytime you want, because it's something we can do over and over again. So yesterday's, you can start your journey of the day with day 4 or with a different day. It doesn't really matter. The point is that we're doing something. If you can start at day 1, it's great because I have it designed to go through a process so that you can unlock yourself and open yourself up. But the conversation yesterday was about this challenge to take our all the things we've learned up until now that looked like the tough stuff, that looked like the relationship challenge, that looked like the job loss, that looked like the concerns about going out in public and being healthy, of that looked like the how do I keep my business, that looked like how do I communicate over the internet, whatever it is that you have been challenged with. Now is the opportunity to look, excuse me, at what look at what you've learned and lead with the learning. When we're going forward and we're looking for what it is that's here to grow us, even if it looks like failure, we can actually move forward. So let's lead with learning. The challenge yesterday was to take 20 minutes to reflect and capture any of the lessons learned since the beginning of the year, maybe, or since last year, however, or since the last month or the last week. You could do this in any kind of time frame. And it's super powerful to help you. So what's the lessons you've learned so far? I would love to see it in the chat, in the comments. I say chat because I can pull it actually up and take a look. So once we've looked at this is part of the process of harvesting the good, of looking beyond the problem, of becoming bigger, braver thinkers. And once you've done that, I'm trying to think what some of my learnings are. I know I've learned to let go, and I've learned to be more patient, and I learned to listen to myself. Learning those lessons, some of those lessons we still need to keep learning because we're not perfect and we're only moving towards progress anyway. So that's kind of a perfect opportunity to talk about what day 5 would be. So I invite you to take some time today and reflect. What are the lessons learned so far? And today is our Las Vegas moment. That's right. We're going to Las Vegas, baby. We're going to Las Vegas. What does that mean, and why do I say that? Because this is our moment today. We've looked, if you've taken the time to reflect on the past and what you've learned, this is now the time to decide. And just like they say in Las Vegas, what stays in Vegas, what comes to Vegas or happens in Vegas, right now, whatever has led you up to this point, it is what it is, and it's gonna stay. You draw a line in the sand and you decide that the past is the past. The now is the now. The future has not yet come. I get to design that. Let's create that on purpose, not by default. And so if I'm going to do that, I have to let go. I have to let go of some of the stuff that's holding me back. And a lot of times that's our past. That's the worry about what we should have done, the could have done, the would have done. We have to practice some forgiveness, some grace for ourselves and for others. But man, how powerful is that move? Especially if we can say, I've done my reflection and I've learned the lessons. I can move forward with, that's why it's lead with lessons, right? Lead with the learning. I can take this moment and make my Las Vegas move and decide that the past is the past. I can't do anything about it. I will take the lessons I just reflected on for 20 minutes or so and wrote them down, and I'm going to move forward. I'm going to go past the line in the sand with this idea that what I'm taking forward into my future, I get to choose. And I get to choose that day by day by day. And that, my Haha, and we're back. There we go. Internet, isn't it fun? So again, sorry about that. My internet flaked out on me, but again, I'm coming from a whole new season, a whole new place in the backyard here. So sometimes that happens. Internet isn't always so strong. So thanks for hanging in there with me while I reconnected. And this happens to us personally. Let's use this moment as a story for a metaphor for how we move through life. Sometimes we are doing fine. We're in the flow. We're going, and we're making these breakthroughs, and then we get disconnected, and something happens, and we get cut off, and we feel like, whoa, what happened? And we get disconnected from ourselves and from our source and from the infinite. Not just in this case, I was disconnected from the internet, but we get disconnected from the infinite, from which we're downloading our ideas, our breath, our life, this place that where do we get life from? You know, you can't make your heart beat one time. You didn't get to wake yourself up. You just woke up. Life is expressing itself through you, through me, through you, through this day, through this. And the lesson here, the lesson we can lead with, is sometimes we get disconnected. So how do we reconnect? And how do we continue the conversation with ourselves? How do we continue the conversation with others? How do we continue to move forward and take action and do the things necessary, do the next right thing, so we're not giving up? How? What, and how? Well, sometimes we have to reconnect. So there you go. And there's lots and lots of practices that we can do to help ourselves reconnect. And some of them I've taught you already if you've been paying attention over these last 10 weeks. But I wanted to give you a sneak peek. Let's just review real quickly in case you missed it or in case the internet wasn't working quite right. We'll just move over here. Wait. So we were talking about our 20 days of turning the tide. We were talking about how we need to lead with lessons learned and not just focus on the past and make this Las Vegas move. Today, let's make your Las Vegas move, that you decide what came to this moment. You're going to let go. You're going to look back with a kind eye and decide, you know what? It all was necessary. Everything had to happen the way it happened in order to bring me to this moment, to make me who I am, to make me have the insights, to even be having this conversation. Excuse me. There's lots of pollen in the air, the flowers from the trees. This is a maple tree behind me. Can't point. And this is what a maple flower looks like. They have a lot of pollen. So they're spreading the message of life everywhere they're going too. But sometimes it gives me a little frog in my throat. So we're moving forward. Make this your Las Vegas moment, that whatever has led up to this moment stays. Draw a line in the sand and you decide, I'm going to do different. I'm going to be better. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to do the next right thing. And I never give up. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek if you want. If you're following along in the 20-day challenge and you're with me, the next little thing we're going to do is actually move into an entire week, well, 4 days of week 2 with the season of transformation, in this whole concept around making room, moving energy, getting some momentum building. We spend a few days reflecting, learning, taking that moment to make some decisions like my Las Vegas move, which is today. And then our sneak peek going forward is to make room and move forward with some, like, expand our own energy, expand the energy we're able to receive, expand the good. So none of that will happen if you don't go ahead and join in and join now. There is an ebook that goes along with this, all this stuff for you for free. because I believe that this is a time to show up and show up more powerfully. And I'm here to help you. I've actually gone through a process of getting more clarity myself. I've always known my mission in life is to help people and to actually, quote, save the planet. How do you save? I started out by saying I was going to save the planet. I'm a scientist and working on pollution prevention and climate change and policies and practices based in science that would make our industries different, make the way we live different. And I did that for a while. And I also was a journalist and a writer, still am. And I did that for a while, always on the side, and I still do. I love to put words together and to communicate with people and to be able to live at the nexus of ideas where we can take ideas and transform them into something new by making new connections. And so I do that in a whole new way. I do all of these things and more because now I'm able to do this message. I'm able to bring this message because I've gone through my own changes, my own transformations, and I've gone through some training. I have the background now in the deeper psychology, in the brain science, in the spirit part of it, in the how our body reacts. And again, it's science-based, and it's more than that too. So this life coaching certification that I have as a life mastery consultant enables me to help bring all the skills and the ideas of how we can change the world essentially by changing ourselves. That's what I've just discovered. We can change the world by changing ourselves. So I've been on my own personal journey to do that, to change myself and get better and better every day. And I have found myself able to translate that for you. So that's what the journey of the 20-day challenge is part of taking these ideas, breaking them down into smaller chunks, into actionable items so that we can actually do the steps, do the next right thing. Get ourselves moving forward, get ourselves reconnected so we're not in this dark place where there's nothing, it appears nothing's going on. I would argue there was something going on behind the scenes in the invisible. If you waited through my little pause there where the internet flaked out, you may have wondered. It may have appeared like nothing was going on. But the truth is, behind the scenes, I was working to reconnect. That's what we can do. So we take some time, reflect, reconnect, get ready for the next thing. And that next thing is to move some stuff, move some energy, make some room for something new. And it's the perfect time to do it. So I'm going to end there, because I think this has been a great conversation. If you've been here live, I would love to hear what your gold nugget is. If you've been here on the replay, I would love to have you put in there #replay and tell me what's the gold nugget you're going to take away today. And I want to invite you into this conversation every week around 10 a.m. Eastern, give or take, with technology and family. Sign up. Get the reminder. Go live reminder SF, so that you can be part of the in crowd and know when these standing firm, when your world is shaking conversations are happening. And join me in the 20-day challenge. If you want to catch up all the lessons, all the conversations, all the fun that we've had up until now, go to my YouTube channel and check that out. I've got all the episodes up there, bit.ly/Life Mastery TV. You're going to love what you find there. And we're in this process of taming the chaos together. So I want to just remind you, if you didn't get a chance to see that, I usually do this at the front, but today we just dove right in. Taming the chaos is something that I have felt very compelled and compassionate about, taming my own personal chaos, becoming the eye of the storm, that calm, clear, centered, sunny, hello, sun, bit of the world. When you're in the eye of the hurricane, or the typhoon, there is some calm there, and it looks like the storm isn't even there. You can have the storm all around you in the world, in your personal life, but let's not have it inside of you. Let's tame the chaos and become the eye of the storm. So you can look up those hashtags and find lots of good content that I have shared in Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. So we're standing firm when your world is shaking, ladies and gentlemen. And the last thing I would say is join me. Let's put that back up there. The internet is very slow today. I apologize. There we go. So put in the comments, what's one thing you're going to do to help yourself move forward powerfully? Was there a idea from today's lesson? Was there something that you never thought you would do but came to you while we were having this conversation? And most importantly, whatever you do something in these next 20 days to help you turn the tide, to tame that chaos, and to really stand firm wherever you are at. If you want to give me an email so that I can send you the right link and make it easy, you can leave a comment below. I'll message you. Just say message me. Oh, here we go. Here's a simple way. You can email me at aliciamarie.belshak@gmail.com, and I'll send you the links so that you can show up for yourself with this 20-day challenge and get every day a reminder of something you can do to move yourself forward as we go through this season of transformation. And it's a season we may repeat in different ways, but we'll always be at a different level. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Thank you for being you and showing up in this world. Because what this world needs now is more people to come alive, more than ever. More than ever. And I believe you are one of those people. I believe that you of impact, that you can be a change agent, and you already are a leader. You just don't know it. So let's lead yourself powerfully. Let's lead your family with love and new directions. Let's lead your community, your work. What is it you would love to do in a whole new brave world where we don't know what will happen, but we know we can be our very, very best, no matter what. No matter what. Never, never give up. And remember, we are standing firm when our world is shaking. I really hope you join me next week around the 10 a.m. Eastern time, right here, same place, same time. And we will continue the conversation for as long as necessary. And I will continue to bring new ideas, new bits of content that would normally not be in a 4-week program. How could we possibly